Giving Back, sponsored by Patterson Legal Group.
We're excited to partner with Patterson Legal Group in our Giving Back segment, where local nonprofits are recognized for the great work they're doing to make our communities better places to live. Patterson Legal Group recognizes a new nonprofit and presents them with a $500 check. This week, we're proud to spotlight Trash Mountain Project. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Tyler Patterson with Patterson Legal Group. This week's Giving Back recipient is the Trash Mountain Project. I'm here with Brett. Brett, tell us a little bit about the group.
Yeah, we're a nonprofit based here in Topeka, Kansas, and work with children and families that live in trash dump communities internationally.
For all your great work, we're excited to give you a check today for $500.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and it'll go to a lot of kids that need the help.
It's awesome.
And joining us now is Brett Durbin with Trash Mountain. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's Trash Mountain Project. It sounds like a mountain of an organization, if you will.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of times people, when they hear that, they think it probably has something to do with recycling or, some type of environmental type of organization, but it's really not.
Yeah. So please tell us more about Trash Mountain Project. What are you doing over there? What are your goals?
Yeah, we started back in 2009. My wife and I were invited on a trip to Honduras to visit a trash dump community, which we had no idea what that was.
Yeah, as soon as I heard you guys were coming on, I did a little research myself, like a Trash Mountain community. What is that? Yeah.
I mean, it really, even today, you don't find a whole lot on this issue. And for us here in the United States, there isn't such a thing because we have policies and, laws on, how waste is, managed and how close you can live and can you just wander in and out of these places. But about 2/3 of the world's countries do have some form of this issue. And basically what a trash dump community is it's an urban sprawl that happens around a landfill. So if you picture a kind of an open trash dump, some of them are a little more organized than others, but people go there because there's no work wherever they're living, and they're usually in large cities and where there's more waste, and so they go and they pick through, looking, they call themselves pickers, and so they're picking through, looking for anything they can recycle or sell, food, whatever it may be, and then they end up just staying there and forming these communities.
Wow, yeah, we really do not see that at all, and you don't hear about it. It's great that you guys are putting a spotlight on those conditions. So where do you step in now? What do you do for these people?
Yeah, when we first started, that was and still to this day, it's hard to know. I mean, each community has different needs and maybe problems that are going on that we would address, or we would partner with someone there. One of the things is that each community we're in, it's a subculture of a culture that we're not from, and so we have a very small team here in the United States, based here in Topeka, and but we partner with just under 100 leaders overseas, and so that'd be teachers, pastors, community leaders, cooks. I mean, it's kind of the whole gamut of what would be needed within that community. So we work through them, and so in a lot of ways we're kind of a granting organization as well. We help with finances and planning and development and addressing those really urgent needs up front, with nutrition and health and all the things you can imagine when you're living in and working in a trash dump. And so we go in and we work with them, and it develops into education and job creation, and as you can imagine, there's a lot of layers to it.
A lot of layers. And you mentioned across the world. Where are you guys at right now? There's multiple locations. I saw about 5 of them, I think, but you know the details more than I do.
Yes, you hit the number on the countries. We currently work in 5 countries. It's Honduras, Dominican Republic, Kenya, Indonesia, and the Philippines. In Kenya, Dominican Republic, and Honduras, we work in 1 community in each of those countries, and then there's another 11 between those other 2 with the Philippines and Indonesia. So very large landfills there, where you're talking massive amounts of land and people that are living there. So.
You certainly got your work cut out for you.
Yes.
How will the donation from Patterson Legal Group be able to help you guys out with this mission?
Yeah, especially when it's, this was the first time they had done this with us. When we have, whether it's a new donor or a new partner like this, we always like to put that into what we call community sponsorship. You've heard of sponsoring kids, that kind of thing. We don't do individual sponsorship like that, but you can sponsor a community or just the general community sponsorship, and we're putting their money towards that. It's a way to make sure that 100% of the funds goes into something on the field, so that we can also report that back to them, and we do a lot of our other fundraising in other ways, so that way we can do that and get 100% of their money into the field. So it'll be directly helping some kids over in the Philippines.
That's great.
Yeah.
And how can people get in touch with you if they want to kind of help out with your guys' mission here?
Yeah, easiest way is just our website, trashmountain.com. And yes, we're on all the social media, but trashmountain.com. We do have an office here in Topeka off 75 Highway. Up north, but yeah, email or phone call to that office would be best. So,
certainly a wonderful thing you're doing, and I'm curious about you personally. What inspired you to kind of take this challenge on to help all these kids across cities across the world?
Yeah, my wife and I was actually I was a college pastor and college professor down in Florida, and went on a trip, and my wife and I, we'd always had a heart for, doing this type of work, but we never thought it would be something where we started an organization and it became, a lifelong type of situation. And, when you look into, a child's eyes, I have quite a few kids. I have 7 kids myself. So, and you see a child that just has just a vacancy in their eyes, and it's just they've already seen so much and been involved in so much and gone through so much by the time they're 3 or 4 years old. It really just it tugged on us, and we couldn't find an organization that was focused specifically on trash dump communities. We could find some that maybe were sponsoring kids in a certain place, or maybe there was a church or a school that was working with one in this area. And so it started in Honduras, and then it developed into 14 communities at this point. So yeah, it's that was the biggest pull, is just seeing kids in this situation, and just a lot of the pain. And it's tough when you see someone that seems that they've lost their humanity at some level. We're a faith-based organization, but no matter what you believe, that shouldn't be okay.
Right.
We can work together on this.
It's an amazing thing that you're doing, that you're trying to do here. It's amazing work. I thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. It's my pleasure.
And so last week we talked about the donation for Patterson Legal Group and how that was able to help. And you mentioned other fundraisers that you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is going on?
We only do one fundraising event a year. It's in October. We do it here in Topeka. It's called Spoken. It's more of like your traditional, sit-down banquet type of event. We've done it for about 10 years now, and we do that every fall. So that's something that we'll be getting out there and making it available to people if they want to come to that. But also right now we're really making a push to get people engaged in our community sponsorship program, which is 100% of the funding for that goes straight to the field. So this goes to, in all of our programs, you have kids that are getting education, food, healthcare, possibilities of job creation in the future, scholarships, and for us, a real key component of that too is just spiritual development, and letting them know that there is a God that cares about them, and they mean something, and they are human, and there's a lot of people out there that care, and a lot of those people exist right here in Topeka. So.
Amazing. And so how can people help you guys out? Are you more donations, I'm sure? Are you looking for volunteers? What are you guys looking for to keep your mission going?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of major ways is, obviously donations. The nonprofit industry is taking hits just like a lot of other industries right now. And yeah, donations specifically towards the community sponsorship, which to give you an idea, now this is an average across all 14 of our communities. Each one's a little different economies, and but it comes out to about $312 per child each year. So for that amount, you're covering the care of that child for a year. And then also, volunteers. We do take teams, but that's also especially now. It's a little more complicated. Travel international is, and it's does cost a bit, and so, but we do bring a lot of medical teams, any nurses, doctors, dentists, oral surgeons, you name it. We would love to bring them over because we will keep them busy for several days, and that's something that they can do, hands-on, and they can also, we do a lot of house building and different things like that. But yeah, very specifically, donations and just volunteering your time, telling the story, sharing about this. A lot of people have never heard of this kind of thing. Just share a story, and you never know what'll come of it.
As easy as that. Well, Brett, thank you so much for joining us today. It's great work that you're doing, and again, thank you so much for everything you're doing for not only this community, but for the communities around the world.
Yeah, thank you, and I appreciate what you guys are doing with this. It's a really cool program.
Of course. And of course, to learn more, you can go to trashmountain.com.
Giving Back, sponsored by Patterson Legal Group.